So I don't know when enough is going to be enough, but I did want to just make a video about how Black Lives Matter and how all lives matter is really just a one-up tactic, and a tactic to turn attention back to anyone but Black people. I thought about sitting here and doing a video and having my talking points ready and my notes, but I think it speaks volumes to see how someone feels in the moment. The raw emotion of the aftermath of any tragedy where you're severely affected. So I'm going to share with you my Snapchat story from the last 2 days. It's very real, and if you feel differently about me after it, I feel like you should unsubscribe. And if you feel like I'm racist afterwards, or if you feel angry or affected afterwards, I feel like you need to see why you're feeling that way, where that anger is coming from. Maybe it's because it's the truth and it's hitting you deeper than you expected it to. Anger doesn't always manifest in a way that you would expect it to. Sometimes anger is from a realization. When someone points out that you're a bully, or that you're misrepresenting yourself, or that you're doing something that's hurting other people, it's a defense mechanism to get angry. So I'm not going to take up too much time. I'm going to let you guys see my Snap story, and I hope that everyone chooses to speak up and that everyone feels outraged, because you should, and that if you are someone that feels like all lives matter isn't patronizing, that you do better. You know, people are hurting, and your feelings should be put aside when other people are hurting for a just reason. So I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, be nice to people. So I just woke up. I look a hot mess, but I got a text from my dad about Dallas. I was asleep before I saw anything. It's important to remember that an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, but in the same beat, it's important not to believe everything in the media the way that you see it, because they show you only what they want you to see. For example, a white man rapes a woman behind a dumpster, and they show you his yearbook photos and his swim records and his report cards. But a black man is pulled over for a simple traffic stop, is shot to death, and they show you his prior arrest records and mugshots. It's so terrible that those cops lost their lives because they have families and children, and they have never done anything wrong. And it's okay to be upset with the people that took their lives, but try to understand that, I just want you to be clear, I'm not justifying this in any way, but as a black person, until you understand what it feels like to think that you or one of your cousins or your dad might run a red light, and where a white person would be given a ticket, they might be shot 5 times if they do as much as roll their eyes. Reserve judgment. It's hard to know what that much anger feels like when you haven't been there, and when you feel like you've been oppressed for so long, and you've tried to be quiet, and you've tried to follow the rules, but nothing changes. It's that incredibly helpless place that the anger comes from, and the outrage when you feel like no one's listening to you. And it's just sad because now the attention is shifted again. So I'm going to put on makeup and I'm going to go to work. And I'm so glad that it's Friday. I just started going through my Instagram feed, and I legit want to delete people because now the police lives matters things are going up, which that's valid. But where were you yesterday? When Orlando happened, I was still mourning the loss of Christina. She died the day before that. So I didn't talk a lot about it, but so many people were speaking up that I felt like I would have just been taking up space of people that were already using their platform. So that was fine for me. But all I have to say before I really get ready for work is Black Lives Matter doesn't mean all other lives don't matter. It means Black Lives Matter too. Black Lives Matter also. Black lives and LGBT lives for the past hundreds of years are the lives. Those are the lives that are taken without second thought. These are the lives that are undervalued and are treated less than human. So we get to hashtag as much as we want. We get to say things as much as we want. And if you still want to say all lives matter, fuck you, because you don't believe it. If you want to say all lives matter, I can read between the lines. You might as well just say white lives matter, because that's all I hear. Because I'm not here for you. I'm not going to be. So, bye. I'm halfway together. I had to use that brow pencil today because I don't have time to do Anastasia. Just for anyone who's white, who thinks I'm overreacting, ask yourself right now, would you want to be a black person? I guarantee the answer is no. Because you know you're safe. That's privilege. You have it. Aren't you lucky? People try to bring up that I have lighter skin, like that makes me different. That only matters to black people. To white people, I'm just another nigga. I try to stay really even-tempered or borderline sarcastic when I'm talking about race because I really only have two emotions, really sad or really pissed off. If I come on here crying my eyes out, people will see me as overly emotional and irrational. It's hard to get a point across that way. And then if I come on here cussing and pissed off and mad, people stereotype me as an angry black woman, and still, my point doesn't get across. And I'm not going to say too much more about it, but I did see a tweet by Bruce Bartlett, if you don't follow him, and it said something very insightful. When a black individual is executed by a white policeman, people offer prayers. When a white policeman is gunned down by a black person, people come for blood. What lives matter most again? That's what I thought. Sorry, I'm home making lunch. So obviously I'm going to post a YouTube video about everything, but I think it's more valuable to post my snap story because it's like the actual raw. I just think that there's more value in seeing how I felt in the moment than me having a rehearsed script for YouTube. Police departments across the country sending out patrol officers in pairs today. Like we're just going to go out and start slaughtering them? Come on. I understand police officers being sent out in pairs if they're going to be at rallies and things like that. But patrol officers, we're not coming for you. I'm just saying, when a black person's gunned down, no additional precautions are taken. When a white officer's gunned down, no expense is spared. And it doesn't change the way I think of like my white friends or anything. It's just the epitome of systematic racism. It's very clear. I just hope that after all of my shit talking today, you understand how incredibly patronizing it is to say all lives matter. A lot of you guys just don't understand, and to that I say, you need to read a fucking book. Really. Go to the library, read some books.